Hey guys, Travis. I'm going to go over your basic buttonology of a BB Pulsera. This is what's called a third generation BB Pulsera. The way you can tell is by the monitor cart. The monitors will fold in. We're going to go over the basic do's and don'ts and how to turn on and turn off your system. Also check the battery status of your mainframe or C-arm to see how your battery is doing. First and foremost, this is your C-arm slash mainframe. This piece right here, from now on, we're going to call the C-arm. This is your monitor trolley, cart, and or workstation. We're going to call it a workstation. Your workstation is where both cables are to power on the system. The first cable that you plug in before you plug it into the wall is the interconnect cable. On a BB Pulsera, you'll see this yellow dot. Very simply, match it up with the yellow port dot. Push it on as far as it will go, not with force, just gently, and then slide to the right until you get a full twist. And it's seated perfectly. Now if you pay attention to this light down here, this is your battery indicator. It has a full or a solid light, which means you have a full charge or a full battery. Now your system charges while it is off and plugged into the wall. Now if this is blinking really slow or slowly, it needs to charge. And I would suggest leaving it plugged in overnight or during the day so it's ready for tomorrow's cases to make sure the battery is charged fully. Ignore the key. This is to disable X-ray. If it ever says X-ray is disabled, it is because it is in this position, and you need to simply just switch it to the lateral position. This is your foot switch plug. Your foot switch is also found your mount right here. I'll go ahead and take that off for today's training video. We'll go ahead and slide that right here. Okay, so now that your interconnect cable is plugged in, you then take your other cable and you plug it into the wall. And for you to check the battery status, it has to be plugged into the wall, and for your system to be charging, it needs to be plugged into the wall as well. Now this is ready to turn on or to boot. Always turn on the system from the workstation. You can turn the mainframe or C-arm on and off over here, but you don't want to do it just because it does cause more issues than is worthwhile. So just for safety and less maintenance calls, we're going to always turn it on from the workstation. You have two buttons, circle in and circle out. Circle in is on, circle out is off, or blue and gray. Blue is on, gray is off. So go ahead and turn it on. Your C-arm over here will always turn on last. It takes a long time for this to fully boot, so it's important not to be touching buttons or touching any buttons on either piece until the system is fully booted. And the way you know the system is fully booted is this little screen on the C-arm will have a progress bar. When it is fully filled up, it will go to your examination screen and it will say exam type. That's how you know you're fully booted. The other way you know you're fully booted is to watch the workstation. The workstation always boots faster than the C-arm. As you can see, you have the software revision, after which will be followed by the patient registration screen. Now, if you look closely, it says mobile viewing station is in standalone mode. This message will not go away until the C-arm is fully booted. So that's the other way to tell that you're fully booted, is to wait for this message to go away. Now it's gone, which means we need to walk over just to double check on the C-arm screen. So you are fully booted. This is what a fully booted C-arm screen looks like. We'll go over the exam types here in a second. Also, for your information, if there's ever an issue with the system, most of your error codes are going to appear here. In the event of an error code, make note, not only make note of the number of the error code, but hit this button right here, information. Just because more often than not, there's usually one or two, sometimes three error codes that won't show unless you hit the information button. So just take a photo of the error codes if you ever have them, and then text myself or a member of our staff right away. Okay. Focusing on the workstation, you have what's called a touchscreen acquisition monitor. It makes it very easy to register a patient. So also, we're going to go straight to setup. Well, our touch screen is not working, but yours is a touch screen. So go ahead and come over here. If you come to setup, you'll see this is where you add your physicians, and if you ever want to set up DICOM, or enable service, this is where it's done as well, under setup. Okay, let's go to usage. So under scheduling, this is where you schedule your patients and you start your examinations. It's important to always schedule your patient or to register them before you start taking images so you can save those images to your patient. You simply click add, put in the patient's information, select the physician, the exam type, and then hit OK. And then all images will be saved or associated with that patient. So once you're ready to start the examination, you simply hit start examination. And now you would have your patient information here, and then all images would be saved to that patient until you registered a new patient. Now to get back to that screen, go ahead and show me down here real quick. What you want to do is hit this little patient person button. That takes you back to the main menu to be able to register another patient and or to review. At the end of the day, when you're going to be saving your images to a USB thumb drive, you're going to go to the review section. And then under review, you would select the patient and then you would hit show examination. Now, if you want to zoom in right here, this is your overview. You're going to have multiple images for different patients. So if you want to see all the images to make it easy to toggle through them, you would simply toggle through and pick the images you want to export via USB or DICOM. So let's go back and let's go ahead and register a patient and start the X-ray demonstration. So forget this isn't touch. So schedule. So we're going to pause the video right here so we don't send you one long video. It's going to be multiple videos. Okay, this is part 2, taking X-ray and knowing how to fluoro. There's 2 ways to fluoro on your C-arm. You have the foot switch and then you have the hand switch. So let's go over the different fluoro modes, right? Your left foot switch, the eye right here, and then also your hand switch, also the left hand switch or the gray button, also represented by the eye, is low dose fluoroscopy. Now if you're just searching or you want to take a quick shot to see where you're at scanning, low dose fluoroscopy is the way to go. So we'll go ahead and hit it. It takes a great image. All right, so low dose fluoroscopy. It is important to know your low dose fluoro does not save the image. If you want to make sure your image is saved, you need to always hit high definition fluoro. Now this isn't high dose fluoro, a lot of people mix that up. High definition fluoro releases the preset that you select. And let's go over those presets or exam types, so follow me. Your exam type is selected here at the beginning of the day or beginning of the case. If you want to switch your exam type, you simply hit exam type in previous or next to toggle through the different applications that you have on your C-arm. Now, abdominal and HQ orthopedics, head and spine are the most popular packages because they have the most optimal presets for those areas of the body. It doesn't mean you're releasing large amounts of radiation. It just means that these presets are pre-programmed for the most optimal imaging settings. So when you hit either the right foot switch, I+, or the right hand switch button, the yellow button, the I+, or your right foot switch, I+, that simply is telling the system, A, to save the image, and B, to release the preset that you've selected on the C-arm. Okay, so now you know how to image or the different fluoro modes. Oh, sorry, let's go over the different fluoro modes real quick. To switch between fluoro modes is done here at the very bottom. X-ray mode. You can go continuous, you can knock down your radiation on on high definition, if you want, on the right foot switch, you can get it all the way down to a quarter dose if you want to. If you just want to select thorax, head, spine, HQ orthopedics, and operate it out of quarter dose for the rest of the day, you can hit that right foot switch or that right hand switch, and it's only going to release a quarter of the normal dose for that preset. That's your dosage. That's also your x-ray mode. Fluoro technique is also found here, but you're going to stick in fluoroscopy. Okay, so another way, so now we want to cover what's called protecting and parking an image, right? So we've taken our x-ray on the acquisition monitor, but we need to be able to park in the we have to be able to park, the reason being for the AP or the lateral. So what you want to do, you can park in 3 ways. There's 3 ways to park an image. Number 1, on the mainframe or C-arm is found here. You simply hit the window-to-window button. It automatically pushes the image over so you can park it, which will allow you to have an overview while you move to a different position, AP or lateral or oblique. So that's your park button. It can be done there. The second way it can be done, the most popular way, is on your remote, which you should have. And this remote is not currently working, but you can see it says to park right here. You would simply point at the screen to park the image. So, and you can also park the image on the workstation. I'll show you where that's done, which is done right here as well. Okay. The second button you need to know, which is found on the remote and the workstation, is to protect an image. So it saves all the images under high definition fluoro. So anytime you hit the right foot switch or you hit the right hand switch, you're going to save an image. But to make sure it's not deleted, you can always protect the images you want, in the overview especially. So if you hit the overview under review, pretend there's 50 images here as you're scrolling through. The fastest way to sort through all these images are to flag the 3 or 4 that you like and then delete what's unique about Philips, it deletes all the images at once. So if you hit delete, it will delete them all. So the way to filter or just select the images you want is to flag the few that you like and then delete the rest all at one time. It's very efficient, fast, but you do need to protect them, which can be done by the remotes or done by right here on the workstation. This can be done during post-processing or during image acquisition. You can do it live. You can flag them right then and there when you park the image. So that covers, let's go back to schedule. We'll just go ahead and take another image to get us back to where we were. Okay, perfect. All right, that covers parking, and that also covers protecting your images as well. So you understand how to save an image, you understand how to park an image, you understand how to change fluoro modes, switch between the different fluoro techniques, then the difference between low-dose fluoroscopy and high-definition fluoro, which is also the same on the hand switch. Now we're going to cover KV. Your system automatically releases the dose required for the preset, but if you ever have a larger patient and you need to penetrate more and you need to up your KV, that's done here. You hit auto, it turns it to manual. You're going to hit the KV plus button, which increases your radiation or output, which allows you to get a brighter and more powerful image so you can penetrate if needed. Now, usually, with what you guys are doing, you will not need to up the KV in high definition fluoro. But if you do ever need to do it, it's there. Auto contrast, great feature. You can do the contrast manually, or take a look at the screen. I'll hit the auto contrast and see the difference. It will measure. Go ahead and get closer, Win, if you can, so it looks better. Focusing on the left monitor. There you go. This is the auto contrast button. Measures what's in the field and gives you the most optimal contrast. You can do this manually, but the auto contrast works great. You can do that right there. So come back over here, Win. We're going to cover the left side of the C-arm. That's your contrast. This is it. This is to rotate your image. Let's go ahead and show them that we can rotate your camera. All right, so come back, Win, real quick. If you notice, in the middle you have 0. This basically just takes you back to default, where the image was prior. So you don't have to remember where it was. You just simply hit the 0 and you'll go back to 0. Now, right above that, let's go ahead and show them these two. This is to invert your image. So if you want to invert it, go ahead and show them. You can invert or flip the image at any point, right here. That's done there. Okay? Go ahead and come back over here. We've already gone over the parking your image over here. This is to print. This is your on-off button, which we will not touch. It's your information button. We've already covered that for error codes. After 5 minutes of fluoro, you will get alarms, and you do have a light at the top of the workstation that does, during high definition fluoro, light up. If the alarm or the high definition light do bother you at any point, you can mute them here. Let me show you. Either here with the bell or here with the light. You simply just hit the either or, and you're good to go. This is emergencies only. It's a kill switch. Please do not hit it. It will probably damage the system. It's in the event that the system starts smoking, or you feel that you yourself, the doctor, patient, or tech, are in trouble, you need to kill the system. That's the kill switch. Don't hit it unless it's a real scenario, please. Collimation is all done right here. Your collimator, your shutters, you have your leaves, rotation, rotation, shutters, and leaves. Opening and closing, your iris is all done right here. Your shutters, rotation, and then your auto. Go ahead and your auto borders are done right at the top, right there. So we'll leave that the way it is. So come back real quick, and then a reminder: if you just want to get back to, let's say you close your iris to the furthest point to really hone in on that spot, you can simply hit 0 or hold 0, and it'll bring you back. It'll bring the iris back to the standard position, default position. So that covers everything on the C-arm. We'll go ahead and go over the up-down movement. Come over here one real quick. Phillips is very strange in that if you see I'm hitting this up-down button with one finger, it doesn't work. We get calls all the time thinking it doesn't work. Phillips requires 2 fingers. It only responds to 2 fingers. Otherwise, it does not go up and down. So, if you want to go down further than this, simply ignore the beep. The beep is letting you know you're going lower than what's recommended. And you can bypass that beep by just going past it. Okay, motions. We're going to go over the motions real quick. So go ahead and stand back here once so you can see. Or the C-arm movements, not motions. This brake right here, the braking system on a Phillips Pulsar is very easy. You have your lock and then your unlock symbols. Put it in the unlock position, and then your movement's free up. Forward, backwards is one of those. Before I cover all the movements too, you have your brakes, which are simply activated by pushing down on the foot pedals. So let's go ahead and cover those. Forward, back. This right here is your wig-wag or panning motion. To be exact, you have 12.5 inches either way. Now, if you need to go further than 1.5 feet, the easiest way to go further than 1.5 feet is to do this without moving the C-arm a ton, is to unlock the system, use these levers, which move your wheels, put them in the lateral position, and now you can wig-wag and pan as far as you want if you need to go past 1.5 feet. It's just a trick or an easier way to move or to pan further than 12.5 inches. Okay, so that's panning, wig-wag, or you can put it back in the lateral positioning to move past or further if you need to. And so let's go over, this is your angulation. So to throw it in the lateral position or to do an overscan, it's all done here. And I skipped rotation, which is found right here. You can rotate the system 180 degrees. Move this further over, back. So, if you try to go all the way, you'll notice something happens. It stops or locks right here. Go ahead and zoom in. To complete a full rotation, Where it gets stuck is right here at just about 30 degrees. You have to push this lock up, which will then allow you to complete the rotation. Now, when you want to go back, please go the direction you came, because if you keep going the same direction, you'll wrap this cord around the C-arm, and you can pull to a point where it'll cause damage. So just go back the way you came if you want to rotate the II back. The image, obviously, as you know, the further away you are from the radiation source, the more of an overview you're going to get. If you'll notice the difference between the image on the screen and the image we're taking now, it's much further in distance. And that reminds me, we did not cover magnification, which is done right here. Let's come back when. The one thing we skipped was magging. 23 centimeters is your 9-inch setting. So the image you see is at 23 centimeters. If you want to mag down to 6 inches, that is done right there, which is at 17 centimeters, and then down to 4. And then back to 23. So we'll go ahead and do a mag shot at 17. Go ahead and just zoom in. So that went from 9 to 6 inches, or 23 to 17 centimeters. And then we're going to go all the way down to 14, down to 6. So the definition and quality does get better, but that is your mag mode. Once you're in the mag mode, you have to mag out for it to reset or go back to 23 inches or 9 inches. So that covers your system. To print, you simply hit the print button, which is found here. And then you have a lot of post-processing options, measuring, and doing other neat features which are found in the user manual, which we'll send over if you haven't received it already. And then at any point, if you need help navigating through the system, hit the information button, and you have a built-in user manual, which is great. You can also enable pop-up hints. And I keep forgetting that this one's not a touchscreen like yours, but with the pop-up hints, it is a very intuitive system. As you start to pay, it'll make suggestions and help you throughout navigating your system. So we're going to turn it off, circle out. It's important to make sure the system is fully turned off. Some of these take longer to turn off. It will say system over here. System is shutting down. It is important not to unplug it from the wall until the system is fully shut down. But now, at the end of the day, the first thing I look at is where my battery is. If I know it has a full light, I know I'm good for my cases tomorrow, and I do not need to leave it plugged into the wall to charge. The reason I don't want to leave it plugged into the wall to charge is because in the event of an electrical surge, it can cause damage to the battery, charger, or system. So, knowing that I have a full charge, I'm going to go ahead and unplug it from the wall. You will hear a click in the power or the workstation, which lets you know you do not have power or electricity going to the system. But if it is blinking slowly, remember, if it has a slow blinking light, it needs to be charged all the way up to a solid light like that, which means you have a 100% full charge. The faster it blinks, the closer it is to a full charge. So that's the brief overview. If you have any other questions, we're here. Give us a call. We can make specific videos on what you need to know or what you want to do. There's also ways to add a DVD recorder to record your images or create clips or DVDs. There are for other trainings for vascular settings as well, but I don't believe you'll be using vascular. But give me a call if you have any other questions. Thank you.